papawit ko rin. O kaya ginawa din niya, sabihin ko kayo, wala ko pero across that bridge na grabe yung dito, sir. Mahal yan. I am bumubuhay ako sa retirement pay. So, pati itong pamasahe ko, retirement pay, wala akong negosyo ever since. Google ko na ako an employee of government. Kaya, I do not have
Dodong Dods, good morning. Nandito lang ako sa bahay.
so, sa masyado kung maaari na tapusin natin ito hanggang bukas kung tayo umalis dito.
Salamat guys, Mr. Chair.
Tapusin talaga natin ito. Tapusin natin ito. Huwag tayo umalis dito.
Talaga to si dating Pangulong Duterte. Nakakatawa, no? Nakakatawa kasi sabi niya hindi tayo uuwi, dito lang tayo, di ba? Ito yung pinakamalupit talaga na ano po ni dating Pangulong Duterte.
So,
No?
pangalawang tanong ko, tinawagan nyo ba si Senior Superintendent Padilla para i-congratulate siya sa pagpatay sa 3 high-value targets na Chinese nationals na inilagay sa loob ng Davao Penal Colony? Kasi sinabi nyo daw, congrats Superintendent Padilla, job well done. Pero grabe ang ginawang dinuguan.
Talaga to si
Mr. Chair.
Rizon Tiberos, no?
Call Padilla now because he is lying. I do not know him. And I do not have to congratulate this policeman.
Ayun.
Trabaho ninyo yan. Why do I have to congratulate you? Trabaho ganyan.
So you do not confirm na tinawagan nyo si
I do not.
Senior Superintendent Padilla?
I only congratulate people with itong mga police daw graduate with honor kasi nagtuturo ako sa Police Academy. May congratulatory message ako. Congratulate ako na.
Well, Mr. Chair, of course, absolutely hindi naman natin
Kakaiba talaga si
investigate
si Tatay Digong.
graduating with honors sa academy. Pero yung EJ case at war on drugs, kailangan talagang kaya natin iniimbestiga.
Kaya
And
huwag
Mr.
tayo
Chair,
umalis dito sa kwartong ito hanggang matapos.
Huwag tayong umalis.
Gusto ninyong kunin sa akin.
well, Mr. Chair, so yung huling tanong ko
Talagang
for today,
malupit talaga si dating
for the
Pangulong
record,
Duterte po, mga kabayan.
Bakit
ano po?
tinawag sa inyo ako dito tapos yan lang ang huli ninyong ano?
May mga colleagues pa yata tayo, Mr. Chair, na magtatanong sa dating presidente. So, for the record, sinasabi nyo ba na ang mga drug users at drug criminals ay dinideserve nilang mamatay na lang kaysa pumunta sa jail? O para i-paraphrase ko si Patricia Evangelista, do some people need killing, Mr. Duterte?
Ma'am, presidente ako. Nagagastos ako sa gobyerno. Bakit ako magbubuhay sa mga putang inang yan? Kung yung pera na ipapakain ko dyan sa preso, ibigay ko na lang doon sa mga tao dyan sa walang bigat.
So, mas okay na pagkain sila kaysa impreso sila.
Supalpal ka, Rizon Tiberos.
So, thank you for making that comment.
Ayun.
Sa kriminal kung saan silang
Nasupalpal tuloy.
pumunta.
Well, Mr. Chair, for the record,
You make your own.
Kapal talaga pagmumukha to siya, no?
yes, Mr. Chair.
As in, super makapal talaga ang pagmumukha ni Senator Rizon Tiberos.
Doon tayo magkita.
Well, Mr. Chair, wala namang jurisdiction ng Senado sa impyerno. Dito lang sa bansa natin pwede tayong mag-investigate.
Doon tayo pupunta.
Well, wala po akong ambisyon
Doon tayo
pumunta
pupunta sa impyerno.
Pero Mr. Chair, ang punto lang nito,
Nasupalpal ka tuloy, Rizon Tiberos.
nung
Kapal talaga ng
magsisimula ang
pagmumukha tong babae na
police
ito. Oh.
operations, drug-related police operations, supposed to be at sinabi ng mga resource persons,
Oo.
merong pong manual of operations.
Yun ang problema
merong
dito ni, ni
continuum
Senator
of
Ray
force
Santiveros.
sa pag-enforce
Kasi nakapokus lang siya sa mga
pag-enforce,
pinapatay. Hindi niya iniisip yung mga
implement ng
nabiktima
police
sa rape.
anti-drug operation. So, ang premise is, yun na nga, arrest muna at build the case. Well, Mr. Chair, no, as a final word, I hope and I imagine that the Department of Justice is watching dahil ang daming admissions ng dating
Ay,
presidente.
nako, tambaluslos ka
involving
talaga,
criminal
Ray
acts.
Santiveros.
Salamat kayo. Kasaysayan na lang po maghuhusga. Salamat kayo, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Mr. Chair,
Ano-
Mr. President, nagtataka ako ngayon ng Justice Department hindi pa nag-file ng kaso hanggang ngayon. Katagal lang. Katagal ako pumapatay ng tao hanggang ngayon hindi pa sila nag-file ng kaso.
Mr. Chair, another addition to the list that's growing by the minute.
Okay, for the record, Mr. President. Wala, Mr. President, for the record, kasi may nagtanong din sa akin eh. Wala, huwag na tayo magdrama dito. Tapusin na natin itong istorya na ito dito sa Pilipinas. For the record, Mr. President, wala, sinaawa ako dito sa mga pulis. Sa totoo lang, naawa ako sa mga pulis, pati sundalo. Kaya ako, akin, mind and mind alone. Pag nag-inutusan ko ito mag-operate itong mga buang na ito, kung anong mangyari akin yan, I'm emotional because I've been longing to state this particular
Da.
sentiment. Protektado ko yan sila. Basta in the fulfillment of duty,
Da.
Mr. Senator, yan sila, naging chief of police yan. Protektado ko ang police pag nagtrabaho in the fulfillment of duty. Pero alam nila, ang mga police na pumasok ng kidnapping, alam nila yung police nila, pinatay ko.
Da. Supalpal ka talaga, Ray Santiveros.
Ako po may tanong din. Pinag-aralan
Ma'am Sorina Balyam, mag-love shout out. Ni-review ko lang po yung ano po ni dating Pangulong Duterte kasi
Ang reward, iba-iba nga yung amounts, tapos sasabihin
Kaya tama lang si dating Pangulong Duterte na hindi tayo uuwi hanggang hindi ito matapos.
Tungan nyo marati sa dulo ng lalo na kung nalagay sa peligro yung buhay ninyo. So, ito lang yung tanong ko. So, when you were president, hindi nyo ba ako concerned na malito yung mga nakikinig sa'yo, na kausap mo mga law enforcers, na may maniwala, lalo na sa first part ng sinabi mo at na-confuse na sila sa... Kasi paliko-liko po yung mga pronouncements po ninyo, Mr. President. When you were president, were you not concerned that you will be misinterpreted? Hindi. Kasi matagal na akong instructor ng pulis eh. Ay, magaan ito sa psychiatric. Gastos pa ako ng... Wala pa sa president. May funding ako dito sa mga...
Sa bahay lang ako, Ma'am Sorina, kasi medyo nahirapan ako sa paghinga.
Hindi naman ito ano. At saka, alam mo, Senator, pag kayo mga ganun, mga heinous crime, mga patayan dito, ang presidente o mayor, hindi pwedeng ano ka na ng, kailangan magbitaw ka talaga ng salita. Kasi pag hindi, walang,
Tama naman. Oo. Kasi pag ano lang yung ano mo, wala talaga.
It's Lazada's 6-6 wow suited to pay sale. Get up to 1,500 pesos.
So ayan po mga palangga, dito lang po ko sa dito lang po ko sa bahay. So patuloy po tayo, panoorin po natin itong ano, ni-review lang natin.
resource person not point his finger at a member of the committee.
Mr. President, wala ka naman sa mood to answer questions. We can excuse you.
Kung sabihin ko, I will take full responsibility, pagdating tayo sa korte, hindi naman tatanggapin yan.
Well, Mr. Chair, and if the resource person could keep his volume and pitch to a normal
Trying to
level.
pin me down on it.
Mr. Chair, you are pinned down by your own statements of October.
You have to pin
No,
me
Mr.
down
Chair.
lower.
I'm not trying to pin you down
The
on
exchanges
air.
are no longer productive.
Mr.
So
Chair,
do not pin me down on semantics.
Sabi niyo rin po kanina, you take full legal responsibility for the consequences of the drug war.
Yes.
Kanina rin, kanina rin sabi niyo maraming mali. No? So, halimbawa, si Kian de los Santos, menor de edad, hindi armado, nagmamakaawa, pero pinatay ng mga pulis sa drug war. Do you take responsibility for the death of Kian de los Santos?
The criminal act. Hindi naman siguro.
The death. Do you take responsibility for his death?
Walang maniwala na abogado sa akin yan.
Hindi po, sir.
Natutulong siya.
Hindi po abogado. Nandito pa lang tayo
I
sa
was
Senado, hindi sa
referring
Korte.
to the policy na ginawa ko para sa mga pulis.
Yes, sir.
Sabi
At
ko,
nagbunga yung
I will
polisiya.
take full responsibility
Yes,
for
and
that.
what about yung bunga ng polisiya na libo-libong namatay kasama si Kian de los Santos? Do you also take full responsibility for that? Because in October 2020, na-quote po kayo na sinabi nyo, if there's killing there, I'm saying I'm the one. You can hold me responsible for anything. Any death that has
Miguel
occurred
shoutout bro,
in the
Dodong
execution
Dod
of
sa
the drug war.
anniversary
Noong
na.
October ulit, 2020, October 21,
Maraming salamat sa mga
2021
nakapag-join
naman,
kaninang
in a
umaga.
Reuters interview, kinwote
Comment
kayo
ko
na
sa vlog
sinabi,
ni
if there is any
Arcolo ba
person
yun?
who is going to prison, it
Arcolo?
would be me. I assume full responsibility. So, do you assume responsibility
Tingnan ko
for the
yun
death
po,
of
Ma'am
Kian de los
Ma'am
Santos?
Marcelina.
No.
Sa bahay lang ako kasi medyo ano yung paghinga ko, medyo nahirapan po
No,
ako.
I'm not rambling, Mr. Chair. Very specific yung mga tanong
Hindi,
ko.
specific ang law. Guilt is personal. Tanong ko muna ng abogado.
Okay lang po. Kaya-kaya kong magtanong sa abogado. Sige,
tanong ka muna
itanong ko
ngayon
po.
before we proceed.
No.
Hindi tayo
I
magkaintindihan dito.
prepared these questions with my
Guilt is
representatives.
personal.
Yes, it's very personal.
Hindi
So,
mo pwedeng ipasa sa iba yan.
no. Hindi po ito pagpasa.
No?
Iniimbestiga
Kaya nga.
po ng Blue Ribbon yung war on drugs at yung naging bunga ng extrajudicial killings dyan. And I am basing my question dun sa mga sinabi ninyo repeatedly, parang tuwing Oktubre nga sinasabi nyo na you will take responsibility.
Correct.
So, yes. So now let me ask you about Carl Anthony Nunez, 20 years old. Walang nahanap na droga o baril sa katawan niya. Sabi nga ng investigador, mistaken identity. Do you take responsibility for his death?
You know, Ma'am, can I ask for a recess of just a
It's
few
all right,
minutes?
Mr. Chair.
Yes. So, hearing suspended.
Mr. Chair, ang tanong ko po ay, if you take responsibility, as you said in October 2020, as you said in October 2021 about assuming responsibility for the war on drugs, do you take responsibility for the death of Carl Anthony Nunez, Mr. Chair?
Alam mo, yung policy mo, hindi mo nakuha yung policy ng presidente.
Nakuha ko po, policy
I
maker
was
din po ako.
talking about the policy. I take full responsibility. Yung sinabi ko na war on drugs.
You said,
Pero
sir,
kung
you can hold me
magpasok ka
responsible
ng
for any death.
specific crime,
Yes, sir. You spoke
hindi
about
pwede yan.
At
At
specific
saka,
crimes.
kung sabihin ko, I will take full responsibility, pagdating tayo sa korte, hindi naman tatanggapin yan.
Well, Mr. Chair, and if the resource person could keep his volume and pitch to a normal
Trying to
level.
pin me down on it.
Mr. Chair, you are pinned down by your own statements of October.
You have to pin
No,
me
Mr.
down
Chair.
lower.
I'm not trying to pin you down.
Lalo tuloy sila na hindi makaintindihan kasi
Do not pin me down on semantics. Okay.
Di ba? Lalo tuloy na dito. Wala magawas virus. Ayaw pa umuwi ni Tatay Digong, oh. Ayaw pa niya umuwi hanggang matapos daw. Yan. Sila ila dilima, oh. Buti na, andyan si Attorney Panilo, no? Hindi ito basta-basta ng mga naging prosecutor, gunas, di ba? Kahit ano pa itatanong, maano talaga ni Digong. Kasi hindi yan maging prosecutor kung hindi mautak. Kaya na yung nangyari po yung nagumpisa yung investigasyon, no? Dito lang sa Cebu, grabe, ang tahimik po ng mga ano. Kasi halos lahat nakatutok sa sa Senate hearing. Kakaiba talaga si dating Pangulong Duterte. Ma'am Lucia Biton, mega love shout out. Diba? Ayaw pa umuwi ni dating Pangulong Duterte. Kasi sabi niya, hindi tayo uwi hanggang hindi ito matapos. Ayaw pa niya umuwi. Hindi pa natapos. Hindi pa siya nakontento. Kakaiba talaga si dating Pangulong Duterte. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, hindi yan maging prosecutor kung hindi yan mautak. Di ba? Ma'am Sorina Balya, good morning from Dodong Dots. So, shout out nga pala kay Ma'am Nix from OFW from Saudi Arabia. Shout out po. And of course, shout out nga pala kay Ma'am Sandra 44 from Germany. Kaya natatawa po tayo dito kay dating Pangulong Duterte. Kasi tapos na sana yung ayaw pa niya umuwi. Kasi hindi pa daw natapos. Oh, Mamilin, shout out Mamilin. Dodong Dods, mega love shout out from Mamilin. Sorina Valya, mega love shout out from Mamilin. Natatawa ko ni dating Pangulong Duterte. Hindi talaga sila ni Rizal Tiberos kasi palaban din si dating Pangulong Duterte. Ayun. Alice Eskel, hello from Dodong Dods. Filipino boy. Good evening, Kuya Os. Maraming salamat sa inyong nireview ko lang po ito po nga Senate hearing na nangyari. Kahit pa paano makakuha po tayo ng kumpletong detalye ba, no? Ayun, walang nagawa si virus ng bayan, no? Napahiya si Rizal Tiberos. Tumayo lang si Tatay Digo kasi nag-CR siguro yun. Doon ako natatawa yung sabi niya na wala akong pakialam, doon tayo pupunta talaga sa impyerno. Ang problema kasi nila sa ito, lalo na po, abangan po natin ha, yung pagharap po sa, sa Tuadcom. Nasupalpal si Rizal Tiberos kung sinabi po ni dati Pangulong Duterte na wala kang alam, hindi ka pa nakahawak ng syudad, kaya wala kang alam. Marami kasi sa Senado na feeling may alam ba, o kaya nga nasupalpal ni dating Pangulong Duterte si Virus ng Bayan. Palike and share lang muna tayo mga palangga. Alam ko may mga trabaho pa kayo. Dudong Dods, okay lang yun Dudong Dods. Alam ko na may mga trabaho pa kayo. Good AM Kuya Host, Filipino Boy, shout out. Maraming salamat ha. Maraming salamat sa lahat po ng ating mga kaibigan, kasamahan, lalo na po sa lahat po ng mga hakbang ng maisog at sa lahat po ng solid DDS sa Davao Dit Squad. Lahat naman tayo, di ba? Lahat naman tayo mga DDS eh. Ibig sabihin, din tayo, leader din sa sa Davao Dit Squad. Si Dodong Dod sa baka DDS din to. Solid DDS. Davao Dit Squad. Baka ipapatawag tayo sa Senado. Grabe no si dating Pangulong Duterte no, mga palangga. Pag nagsalita parang Parang siya pa rin yung presidente natin, di ba? Siya pa rin talaga. Kasi yung kanyang mga binitiwan na mga salita, walang pagbabago. At saka yung reaction niya, di ba? Walang pagbabago eh. Kaya na mainit pa rin si dating Pangulong Duterte sa mga tao. Actually po, meron po akong i-upload na video, no, yung na-interview po natin, mga palangga. Mamaya siguro. Mamaya. At panoorin niyo po yung expose ni Attorney Trixie. Mga palangga, no? Panoorin niyo po yung expose ni Attorney Trixie sa naka-upload na po 'yun. Na-upload ko na po 'yun. Sana makuha na po natin yung dating sahod po mga palangga. Sa ayan, andyan na si Tatay Digog. Galing siguro sa TS. Malupit talaga si dating Pangulong Duterte kaya na mahal pa rin siya ng taong bayan.
Former residents of the our hearing is hereby resumed. Senator Rivera has the floor.
Matanda na talaga si Tatay Digong, no?
Senator Ontiveros has the floor.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. So, i-summarize ko na lang yung unang line of questioning ko.
Ma'am
Point
Lucia
of my
Biton, maraming
question
salamat.
tungkol sa
As in, matanda na talaga si Tatay Digong, no? Pero grabe,
Carl Anthony
matalas pa rin
Nunez.
yung kanyang isip.
Itatanong ko rin dapat sa Althea Barbon na 4 years old at si Carl Arnaiz at si Reynaldo de Guzman alias Kulot na-confirm sa Caloocan Court na the evidence was merely planted by the police. Ang point ng unang questioning ko na yon ay kung ina-acknowledge nyo o hindi na yung policy nyo caused the death of innocents. So lastly, Mr. Chair, actually may mga isang dosenang tanong ko sana ko sa dating presidente pero na-high blood yata sila sa akin. So dalawang huling tanong na lang. Una po, yes Mr. Chair.
Pero lang siguro kasi excited lang ako. First time ako naka-appear ng Senate. But walang personal na yan. It has nothing to do with you, yung character. Yung boses ko lang kasi excited. But if we are offended by the demeanor, then mag-change gear ako. I'll try to do it moderation.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair.
At saka sandali
Mr.
Chair,
Chair.
and I'm addressing lahat kayo. Taga-probinsya po ako. Hindi ninyo pwede akong masumo na paulit-ulit. Pag ginawa ninyo yan, isnapin ko kayo. Wala akong pera. I am not that rich na mag-travel dito. Mahal yan.
Ayan.
I am
Pwede naman na hindi dumalo si dating Pangulong Duterte, di ba? Mga kabayan. Pero kakaiba po si dating Pangulong Duterte, ha. Talagang nirespeto niya. Pero kaya nagbabala po siya na huwag siyang babuyin talaga.
Kaya I do not have my public life is open to everybody. So, magastos masyado kaya kung maaari lang, tapusin natin ito hanggang bukas. Huwag na tayo ulit dito. Thank you.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair.
Hanggang bukas. Walang uwian.
Tapusin natin ito dito ngayon.
Oh.
Huwag tayo umalis dito hanggang umaga. Umabot man tayo hanggang umaga bukas. Huwag tayong umalis dito. Tapusin natin.
Okay, Mr. President, we are prioritizing the questions directed to you. Sige, Senator Ontiveros.
Madam Chair, with regard to
Sandali lang po,
opportunity to
mga
defend the
palangga.
OVP 2025 budget proposal, the question and answer, I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the 2025 budget. Honorable Rosas, you will proceed. Madam Chair, ayaw tayo sagutin, Madam Chair. Hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit tayo ayaw sagutin. Napakasimple po ng mga tanong natin. It is about dates. It is about confirming yung mga dates, Madam Chair. So ayaw tayo sagutin at in sa harap ng publiko. Ang publiko po ay may karapatang malaman ito. Kaya po tayo nagka-question kaugnay dito, Madam Chair. This is about transparency and accountability. And it doesn't exempt the office of the Vice President. No, Madam Chair. Madam Chair. Yes, Madam Vice President. She may not like my answer. She may not like how I answer. She may not like the content of my answer. But I am answering. I do not have to answer to her. If I want to answer to the people, we note that Madam Vice President. If you have senior people, may proceed, Honorable Brother. Yes, Madam Chair, natin with the Supreme Court, Madam Chair, ang dokumento ipinataas sa official ng gobyerno, Madam Chair. I believe yun po ang kailangan natin gawin, ano? Sa isang simpleng mamamayan, kada siya ka ng kahit isa sa bahay na sasagutin, Madam Chair. Yes, Honorable Brother, nagpapasa kayo ang application, kailangan tama ang nakalagay, Madam Chair. Hindi kayo kapag masagot ako, Madam Vice President, isa-isa lang din naman pwede sabihin niyo na hindi ako sumasagot dahil hindi niya gusto yung sagot ko. Yes, isa-isa lang po tayo magsasalita. So yes, Honorable Process. Yes, President, continue. Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, kailan sinabit ng OVP ang liquidation report ng 2022 confidential funds sa Intelligence and Confidential Fund Audit Office ng Commission on Audit? Yan, Madam Chair, siguro naman masasagot tayo ng OVP, Madam Chair. Madam Vice President? I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal. My question and answer, I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal. Honorable Process. Proceed, please. Yes, Madam Chair, simple questions of dates, no, Madam Chair, hindi na tayo sinasagot. I don't think so na sasagutin niya tayo sa iba pa. So, Madam Chair, let me run down my questions sa iba pa. Madam Chair, yung pagtanong ko sa kailan sinabit, tapos kung kaya, ibig sabihin yung liquidation report na dated January 10, 2023, it was only submitted to ICFAO on September 18, 2023. And Madam Chair, pinoses ang confidential funds na ito noong 2022. Tatanungin ko rin sana kung aware ang OVP sa Joint Circular Number 2015-01. Kindly wind up. And Madam Chair, for the record, kasi Madam Chair, nakalagay sa item 6.2.2.7 ng Joint Circular.
Bilya Mix Vlog, harang. Maraming salamat po sa paharang
For
po.
the confidential fund or intelligence fund shall be liquidated at year-end, Madam Chair. So yun po yung reason kung bakit natin tinatanong kasi lumagpas. Ibig sabihin, hindi nagko-comply ang OVP sa deadline na nakalagay sa joint circular na dapat niliquidate na ang cash advance para sa confidential funds ng 2022 noong December 22 pa lamang. 2022 pa lamang. Yun po yung year-end niya. Pero nakita niya naman January. So, Madam Chair, those are simple questions na kayang-kayang sagutin ng OVP but never na sinagot ng OVP, Madam Chair. So, Madam Chair, sana man lang kahit paligoy-ligoy, hindi sinagot talaga Madam Chair. So, thank you, Madam Chair. Next to interpret is Madam Chair. Yes. Hindi po totoo yung sinasabi ni Representative Rosas na hindi sumagot ang Office of the Vice President. We cooperated with the cases in the Supreme Court. There are 4 cases in the Supreme Court. And then we cooperated with all the audit actions of the Commission on Audit. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. And I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on that proposal. Madam Chair, last lang, Madam Chair. This is a progress, Madam Chair, that's around to honorable process. Yes, sasabihin ko lang, Madam Chair, na proper forum ito para malaman natin ang lahat. This is a proper forum. Ang Kongreso po ang dapat nag-aalam niya. Thank you.
Pero gusto ko lang po tanongin si Madam Vice President, if the representatives of the people, like this House, has all the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency. Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, is it a question? I think it's directed to the House.
No, I'm asking you the question, Madam Chair. I'm asking the question to the Resource Speaker if she believes that this House, being the representative of the people, has the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency.
Right. Precisely, that's why I say I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, that can only be answerable by yes or no.
We, again, Chair would like to remind our guests to please be responsive to the queries of the members in the most direct manner. So please proceed, Madam Vice President. I already answered. Answered by yes or no.
Perhaps my ears are not very clear, so I would like to find out if she answered yes, Madam Chair.
And I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
She has been answering the same answers since we started this query and this hearing. What I just want to ask, Madam Chair, is very simple. A simple answer of yes or no. Does Madam Vice President believes that this House has all the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency? I'm not just referring to the agency of the Vice President. I am referring to every agency of government, Madam Chair. That can only be simply answered by yes or no. I do not need to hear paulit-ulit na kasagutan niya. Kanina pa, gusto ko lang pumarinig. Hindi po ako nagagalit. Oo, hindi po katulad niya, parang inis na siya. Oo, gusto ko lang pong malaman. Oo, humbly speaking, naniniwala ba siya, Madam Chair, na itong House na ito, na binoto ng tao, ay merong karapatan ayon sa konstitusyon na scrutinize natin ang budget ng any ahensya ng gobyerno, including Congress, Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, may I request the Secretariat to put on the record cut and paste. I will forgo and I will leave my answer, my previous answer.
Madam Chair, I would just like to ask, why is it very hard for her to answer yes? I'd like to ask, why is it, Madam Vice President, why is it so hard for you to answer yes when you know that the answer should be yes? Why do you have to explain? Why do you have to explain? We're simple people. I'm not even a lawyer. You are a lawyer, Madam Chair. So, here's a simple question of a simple Filipino. Meron po bang karapatan ang House na ito na scrutinize ang budget ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno? Yun lang po ang tanong ko. Pwede pong sagutin ito ng yes or no. Kung yes, salamat. Kung no, edi salamat din. At least nalaman ng taong bayan.
Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OPP 22 for the question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide whether please answer the question. Honorable Dati, you may proceed.
I do not need her to explain, please. You have been giving the same answer for hours. The same answer for hours. Alam ko naman po ang pagnanais nyo. Why you answered the same for hours. Ngayon po, iba naman ang tanong ko. Ang tanong ko ito, kasi po tatanungin ko ulit, Madam Chair, meron po bang karapatan bilang mga representante ng taong bayan sa bawat distrito at party list na mag-scrutinize ng budget ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno? Hindi po natin pinag-uusapan dito ang confidential fund. Ang pinag-uusapan po natin budget.
Madam Chair.
Cecilin, Chesker, good morning. Ma'am Sorina.
Direct answer, either yes or no. Are you going to provide a direct answer? Honorable Abante?
So, what is the answer?
I asked whether our Madam Vice President will provide a direct answer to your query, and the answer is no.
May I know why?
Madam Vice President? And her answer is no as well.
I don't think that would be the right answer, Ms. The question is, may I know why? And her answer is no. Would that be the right answer to the question why?
Madam Vice President, do you wish to comment? Madam Chair, hindi dahil hindi niyo gusto yung mga sagot ko, hindi niyo gusto yung manner ng pagsagot ko, at hindi niyo gusto ang mga sinasabi ko, hindi ibig. I request that the question be repeated. Well, granted. Kindly repeat your question.
The answer is no.
Included in your time. To please repeat your last question.
Ito po, ang tanong ko kanina, meron po bang naniniwala po ba ang ating Vice President na meron pong karapatan ang mga representante ng taong bayan, ng mga distrito at mga party list na scrutinize po namin ang budget ng bawat ahensya, hindi po lang ahensya niya, ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno. Yes o no lang po ang sagot yan. Ang tanong ko po, Madam Chair, kanina ayaw niya sumagot. Ang sagot niya, ayaw niya sagutin. So ang tanong ko ito, may I know why? Ang sagot niya, no. Aba, Madam Chair, hindi po ako masyadong expert mag-English, pero palagay ko po naman, yung po tanong na may I know why, palagay ko hindi po tama yung sagot na no.
Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, palagay ko. So that explains it. It is his opinion.
Madam Chair,
It's up to you. You are the presiding officer.
Madam Chair, hindi ko po opinion yun. Nakalagay po sa Konstitusyon yun. Tulad po ng Vice President natin. Naniniwala po siya sa mandato niya bilang Vice President. Naaayon sa Konstitusyon. Ganun din po ang mandato natin dito na meron tayong karapatang mag-scrutinize ng budget ng anumang ahensya ng gobyerno ayon sa Konstitusyon. Ang tanong ko sa kanya, naniniwala ka ba doon?
Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, umikot na po tayo. Bumalik na tayo sa simula. Natapos na yon, nasagot na. Ang sinabi, palagay ko, hindi iyan ang tamang sagot. Kung hindi niya gusto yung sagot ko, hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ako sumagot.
Madam Chair, palagay ko, hindi po siya sumagot sapagkat inuulit lamang niya ang sinabi niya. O ito po ang gusto kong tanungin sa kanya. Pwede ba, Madam Chair, pakiulit mo yung sagot mo na isinasagot mo ng paulit-ulit kanina pa, Madam Chair. Gusto ko lang ulit marinig. Gusto ko lang ulit mai-record. Pakiulit mo lang ang sagot mo sa lahat ng mga tanong na tinatanong dito mula pa kanina.
Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, I do not want to assume, so I would like to be clarified. Is this the OVP 2025 budget proposal or the confidential funds?
Madam Chair, sinabi ko budget eh. Hindi ko sinabi confidential fund. Sinabi ko budget. Medyo mahina yata ang tinga ni Vice President eh. Sinabi ko budget eh. Hindi confidential fund. Sinabi ko na wala akong pakialam sa confidential fund. Ang pakialam ko ganito. Meron pang karapatan. Naniniwala ba siya na ang Kongreso ay merong karapatan mag-scrutinize ng budget ng anumang ahensya? Yung po ang tanong ko. Sagutin po niya yes or no. Ay, yung kaya niya sagutin ng yes or no, sabihin niya sa akin ang sagot niya kanina na paulit-ulit sa lahat ng mga tanong ng ating mga kulit.
I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, maraming salamat po. Ibig sabihin po, yung kasagutan niya na paulit-ulit, naniniwala siya na mayroong karapatan ang Kongresong ito na scrutinize ang budget. Kahit ang budget na yan nagsimula ng 2023, meron pa rin karapatan ang Kongresong ito na scrutinize ang budget. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po, Vice President.
Salamat. Next to interpret is Honorable Richard Gomez, who is not around. So we move to the Honorable Trixie Cardama.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening po, VP Sara. Although kami po ay mga kinatawan ng taumbayan na nakakakuha ng libo-libong boto ng Pilipino, tayo po ang most voted national official sa kasaysayan ng bansang ito. Kinakakatawan po ninyo ang kagustuhan ng pinakamaraming milyong-milyong Pilipino at bilang isang mataas na opisyal ng Armed Forces of the Philippines Reserve Force, ano pong masasabi nyo sa mga kaalyado ng NPA na nakapasok sa gobyerno at ginagamit ng pondo ng gobyerno para tumulong sa pagpatay sa ating mga pulis at sundalo at i-recruit ang mga kabataang Pilipino?
Madam Vice President. Representative Cardama, I thank you for your question. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Maraming salamat po, Vice President, sa inyong paglaban sa leftist groups at sa NPA na pumapatay sa ating mga pulis at sundalo na nambibiktima sa sambayang Pilipino. Yun na po, maraming salamat po, ma'am.
Can they apply for additional educational assistance in such program? Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. Yeah, thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, on the Kalusugan Food Truck Pansarap, does this also cover parts of the Visayas, or is it only limited to NCR? President? Yes, ma'am. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. So, Madam Chair, my next question is on the Magnegosyo Taday, which is livelihood is actually part of economic upliftment. Are there parameters by where MSMEs can apply for this? Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal. The question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide the proposal as presented. Thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, in the government website, it says, as the second highest public office in the land, the Office of the Vice President shall work for the welfare of the Filipino people and contribute to nation building, economic development, and political stability by fostering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and upholding the highest office, and that is the office of the President. May we hear the wisdom of the Vice President on this matter. Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. Thank you, Madam Chair. Rice food bags, considering that Iloilo and Western Visayas is a rice-producing province, can our farmers contribute to this rice program so that they will have an adequate market with the adequate price? Madam Vice President. Yes. Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. Thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, the DPM in its proposed budget mentions that The mission of the Office of the Vice President is to promote economic development, political stability, and fostering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and upholding the highest standard of professionalism in the civil service. It further says that in a sector outcome, promote political and socioeconomic development consistent with state policies and government priorities and thrust. My question, Madam Chair, is Honorable Vice President amenable to this, or do we need to amend portions of this?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. So, Madam Chair, I do respect the contention of the Vice President. My last question is to the Honorable Chair. Yeah, as it was mentioned earlier, Madam Chair, I am not sure, but can you appraise us in the history of the Congress of the Philippines during budget briefings and deliberations? Has the Committee on Appropriations ever detained any resource person? Never. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po, kang Vice President. Thank you very much.
I will be asking questions about the 2025 budget. Given the same position of the Office of the Vice President, will the Honorable Vice President kindly enlighten this committee on how the proposed budget reflects the core mandate of the Office of the Vice President? We are sincerely eager to understand how these resources will be used to fulfill the critical responsibilities, particularly the constitutional mandate of the Vice President. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. You can find all the answers in the audiovisual presentation, in our submission of documents to the Secretariat, in the PowerPoint presentation, and in the opening statement. I will leave it to the House to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, with the significant budget being requested by the Office of the Vice President, this committee is, I believe, keen to hear about the tangible successes by the OVP's programs thus far. Will this budget ensure that such commendable progress continues? I'm referring to the budget requested for 2025.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, I believe we are all familiar with the constitutional mandate of the Vice President, and that's why we'd want to know if the Honorable Vice President could clarify how the proposed budget allocation and the programs that it supports are aligned with this constitutional mandate of the Vice President. Because we're confident that the budget is a perfect reflection of the Vice President's priorities and the office's essential duties.
Madam Vice President. Yes, Madam Chair, the answers are in the AVP presentation, the opening statement, the documents that we submitted to the Secretariat, and the PowerPoint presentation. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, in the spirit of collaboration, could the Vice President also share how the OVP works with other agencies to avoid duplication and ensure the efficient use of public funds? We trust that the budget is also a reflection of such strategic coordination.
Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, considering the careful thought that must have gone into crafting the budget of the OVP, would the Vice President explain the rationale behind specific allocations? We are particularly interested in how these figures, especially the amounts, were arrived at, considering that the Vice President has a national mandate, and how it was computed so as to translate into meaningful outcomes for the public. Madam Chair.
President.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, the Honorable Vice President has repeatedly mentioned that she will forgo the right to personally defend the budget through a question and answer format. How should this committee interpret such a decision? Would it be fair to conclude, Madam Chair, that the programs under the OBP may not be as high a priority or as important as we had hoped for? Or should we interpret the response and the demeanor of the Vice President indicates that we, the elected representatives of the people, and the people that we represent do not deserve an explanation on how public funds would be spent by their office, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, all the answers are in the audiovisual presentation, the documents that is submitted to the committee secretariat, the opening statement, and the PowerPoint presentation. I did not say forgo the rights, I said forgo the opportunity to defend.
Thank you, Madam Vice President, because I think it's not our right to explain our budget. It's our duty to explain our budget. That's all, Madam Chair. I leave, at least I would have to say, I leave it to the committee to consider the responses of our Honorable Vice President in the approval of the budget of the whole.
Second, Vice Chair, nakakalungkot kasi nandito tayo lahat para tayo malinawan kung ano talaga yung nangyari, lalo na sa budget ng Vice President pagdating sa confidential fund and yung budget niya ngayong 2025. Kaya lang, hindi na rin ako magtatanong kasi alam ko, paulit-ulit din yung kanyang isasagot. So, nakaka-frustrate lang dahil ito ay pera ng taong bayan. I would like to thank the Vice President for showing her true colors to the House and her lack of respect for check and balances.
Palagi nila ginagamit ang taong bayan, no?
And accountability.
Pero how about kaya sila, no, kung magkaroon ng investigasyon? Hindi ba kaya sila nagnakaw sa kaban ng bayan, mga palangga?
Hindi naman masagot ni VP Sara yung mga katanungan.
Palagi nila ginagamit ang taong bayan, taong bayan, taong bayan. Pero ang tanong dito, sila kaya, hindi ba kaya sila nagnakaw?
Is there any objection?
Yan ang problema sa mga congressman.
Seems approved.
Diba?
So the
Panay sila ng investigasyon tungkol sa OBP. Pero ito po nga nangyari po sa Bicol, yung 61 billion pesos. 61 mahigit billion, ha?
September 10.
Bakit hindi sila nagkaroon ng investigasyon? Diba?
So that the budget briefing is
Yan ang ang mahirap. So anyway po mga palangga, dito na naman tayo kay
At this point, the chair rules that we shall proceed. So the Honorable Franz Castro may now proceed with her interpellation. You have the floor, ma'am. So, Madam Chair.
Dito tayo.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. Huwag nating kalimutan, may bombshell na inamin ang dating presidente kanina. Sinimulan niyang i-implicate, ilaglag yung mga ilan sa mga dating PNP officials natin na involved daw sa Davao Death Squad noon. Pero sila mismo, sinabi nila na may death squad sila. Siya. Bagamat hindi
Dito,
daw
matatawa
police,
talaga tayo
may death
dito.
squad siya. Yun yung iniimbestiga nga natin dito, Mr. Chair. Yung war on drugs, yung extrajudicial killings na nangyari nung war on drugs, sinimulang modelo sa Davao noon, tapos iniimbestiga natin kung yun ang ginamit na template o modelo para i-scale up nationwide. So, bombshell yung sinabi po ng dating presidente na meron na silang death squad. Ano man ang pangalan yan, police o non-police ba yan? Kasi it looks like what we are investigating now, yung ginamit na instrumento para sa war on drugs na nagbunga ng napakaraming extrajudicial killings.
You
For
are
the record, Mr. Chair.
correct, ma'am. Tama
Thank you,
ka talaga.
Mr. Chair.
Tama ka talaga. So, ganito na lang. Huwag naman yung pulis. Kawawa yan, wala yung sa Davao experience, Davao. Ako. Imbestigahan niyo ako. Set a date for an investigation para sa akin. Ako ang imbestigahan ninyo. Pagkunin ninyo yung record sa Davao yung namatay. At sabihin ko sa inyo kung wala akong takuin. Alam mo, nag-warning ako, huwag kayong gumawa dito. Kasi gusto ko ang Davao. Ang Davao was a very kawawa noon. Alam ninyo, alam panahon ng NPA nung di pa ako mayor, kita mo ang Davao. Left and right ng hold up, walang makalabas sa bahay. Pati mga pulis takot. Kasi nandyan yung mga NPA, pinapatay sila. Kaya sinabi ko, nagagyat ako sa bukid. Nung mayor ako, sabi ko, ayaw ko ng away sa inyo. Pero yung mga pamilya ninyo, nandyan sa syudad natin, yung mga top hunso ng Communist Party, binangin ninyo sila na taga Davao. Saan ang pamilya nila? Sa Davao. Kaya umakyat ako sa bukid. Sinabi ko, stop. Huwag ninyong patayin ang mga pulis ko. Putang ina yung pamilya ninyo. Yayariin ko yan.
Mr. Chair, if I may, dahil matagal na po yung sa NPA, kung maaring mag-follow-up question ako sa dating presidente.
Go ahead, Mr. Chair.
Squad.
Mr. Chair.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. Kanina, sinabi nyo there were 7 people dun sa inyong self-described death squad. Ano po yung mga pangalan nila at pakidescribe yung structure ng organization na sinet up nyo, yung death squad na iyon?
Yung death squad ko, ang death squad ko, ma'am, is before it is organized. Hanggang dyan lang.
Ano po yung structure ng organization na iyon?
Against criminal.
Hindi po, yun yung task siguro na binigay niyo. Pero anong structure ng death squad niya iyon?
Structure against crime and criminal.
Ibig sabihin, ano po yung setup? At sino yung 7 yun na miyembro ng death squad?
Fight crime.
No sir, yung pangalan nung sabi nyo, 7 tao na nasa death squad nyo.
Mukhang patay naman sila lahat, ma'am.
It's okay sir, ano pong mga pangalan nila?
Parang patay.
You know, when I was mayor, 43. I am now 73. For the life of me,
Kakaiba talaga.
I cannot remember the name.
And ano po yung structure nung 7 yon? Merong bang team leader, may 2 tenyente, then may 4 pa na tao? Ano po yung structure ng organization na iyon?
I said, I am 73 years old. Hindi ko nga alam kung bakit nandito ako karap mo.
Sir, I'm sure alam nyo kung bakit kayo nandito. In fact, kayo po yung nagsalita ng pinakamarami sa resource persons. May reward po ba yung 7 iyon sa death squad nyo?
Bakit, ma'am?
May rewards po bang ibinibigay sa mga miyembro ng death squad nyo tuwing nakakapatay sila?
Police?
Police ba yung death squad nyo?
Yun ang allegations.
Hindi po, yung sinabi nyo kanina.
Huwag tayong lumabas dyan.
Ay, hindi po ako lumalabas. Eh, may ibang lumalabas.
O, dito
Kung
pa
sinabi
yun
po
sa-
inyong
ang
death squad,
pinag-usapan
may
dito,
rewards po ba yun?
centered sa police na sinasabi na binabayaran.
No, sir. Pina-follow up ko yung sinabi ninyo.
Ay, yung civilian?
Unprompted. O, so, kung civilian yon, yung sinabi nyo na death squad nyo na 7 tao, may rewards po ba yung 7 taong iyon kapag nakakapatay sila?
Ay, hindi, ma'am. Mayayaman yung mga maraming gago na mayayaman na dako.
Ano pong koneksyon ng mayayaman sa Davao?
Gusto pong
sa
matay
miyembro
ng
ng
mga
death
kriminal.
squad?
Because
Ibig sabihin,
they want the
Gustong
city to be
pumatay.
safe.
nagbibigay sila yung mayayaman ng
they want
reward sa
business to
death
thrive.
squad? Yes sir, bago po yan. Sinasabi nyo ba na yung mayayaman sa Davao nagbayad sa death squad para pumatay?
No, hindi ba? Sila
Colonel
mismo.
Makasaet po ba kasama sa death squad na iyon?
Sino?
Colonel Makasaet, kasama po ba sa death squad na iyon?
Colonel Makasain? Ma'am, alam mo sa totoo lang, mahabang istorya to.
It's okay sir, maikli lang sana.
Pero ang problema, ma'am, patay na yung tao.
Si Colonel Makasaet ay patay.
Ayaw kong marami.
Patay.
Police officer in the police department. Pero patay na yung tao.
Okay sir, may rewards po ba sila?
Tanungin kung anong history yung tao na yan, patay na.
Okay, may rewards po ba sila, yung mga miyembro ng death squad nyo?
Sino? Ako? Magbigay?
Yung 7 miyembro, kung sino man ang nagbigay, may rewards ba sila kapag pumapatay sila?
Walang reward, ma'am. Kung
Walang
police
rewards.
yan. Lalo
Hindi
ng
ho.
police. Bakit ako magbigay ng reward sa mga...
Paiba-iba, hindi po. Paiba-iba
Trabaho
po
nila
yung
yan.
sinasagot nyo eh. Hindi ko tinatanong yung mga pulis.
Oh.
Tinatanong ko po yung mga miyembro ng death squad nyo.
Ah.
Binabayaran ba sila kapag nakakapatay sila?
Wala.
Wala. Okay. So libre lang yung pagpatay.
Senator, this is just an intervention.
Yeah, sorry. I apologize, Mr. Chair. Yes, I submit, Mr. Chair.
The time for Senator Estrada has expired. Senator Villanueva for just
Mr. Chairman, yes, Mr. Chairman, I've been here for more than 4 hours and according to the ground rules set by the chairperson himself, we will be staying here only until 4 in the afternoon. So the latest, we
Ma'am
only have
Sorina,
about
maraming
38
salamat
minutes,
po.
And I'm the only senator who did not make any opening statement and just to expedite the deliberation, Mr. Chairman, may I just be allowed to move that my opening statement be inserted into the records
From SEC, please. Please accommodate
Yes,
Senator
yes,
Villanueva.
Mr. Chairman, and let me just state for the record, Mr. Chairman, our consistency in this particular issue, Mr. Chairman. Since time immemorial, we have been very keen and very serious in our intention to address the problem of illegal drugs, and that is why war on drugs per se is a very noble intention, a worthy, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, of our support. Yung war on drugs, importante lang talaga nakikita natin yung tamang implementasyon at pakita din natin, Mr. President,